When it comes to Medicare, we spend a lot of time picking out the plan and putting it all into place. But too many people miss how to actually use your Medicare benefits to get the most out of Medicare. So in this video, I want to share with you some important things to be aware of so you can get the most out of your benefits and are not overpaying for your health care. I'm Emily with the Medicare Coach. We are an independent Medicare consultant helping our clients easily navigate both the Medicare rules and the insurance company options to do what's best and right for them to have the best health care while protecting their retirement savings. So let's hop into this video, and in the section below, I'm also going to include extra important links for you so you have additional resources to get the most, again, out of your Medicare benefits. So let's begin with the top of Medicare. Medicare is made of two important parts, Medicare Part A and Medicare Part B. Medicare Part A covers your hospital coverage, your skilled nursing, your mental health, your hospice. Now, I want to be clear here that just because it covers hospital coverage, it's usually only for inpatient hospital visits. Just because you're in the hospital and over there overnight, you're not necessarily classified as an inpatient hospital visit. I know it's confusing, but I want to be clear about that. The thing is, most of us will not use Medicare Part A services all that frequently. They're there if we do need it, but they're not used the majority of the time. What people do use, though, is Medicare Part B, as in boy. Medicare Part B covers our medically necessary health care, right? Our visits to the doctor, durable medical equipment, lab services, right? Our lab tests, physical therapy, Medicare Part B covers most of what you think of when it comes to your health care. So at a high level, Medicare has laid out the services that are or are not covered when it comes to Medicare. Now, most of the Medicare Part B services have co-pays for them. However, there is an extensive list of preventative services that were approved with the Affordable Care Act, in which Medicare covers 100% of those costs, whether you're on original Medicare or Medicare Advantage. So again, I have a link to all those down below. But it's important to take a look at what are these approved preventative services. The reason I say that is that some of those things are approved every single year, right? Every year you can go get certain cancer exams, right? Every year you can have certain wellness visits. But there are other rules for other things. Like most pap smears are only going to be covered every other year. My point is this. Medicare does offer some really good benefits, but it's important to know what it does or does not cover, so that way you are informed when you go to your doctor's office and you don't have big bills in the future that you have to pay for out of pocket. Again, Medicare can be great, but you need to know how it works. Many providers don't always realize what those rules are. So it is important, I think, to you as an individual to know what it does or does not cover. So again, you have no big surprises later on. Medicare does cover most of your medically necessary services. So as I mentioned, preventative services are not always every year of certain cancer exams, but if you have a health history, if you have a family history of a certain cancer or other things that require you to have more proactive screens, Medicare will cover that. There's additional approvals in there, but my point is, Medicare is really good health insurance if you know how it works and you know what the rules are, okay? So again, Medicare Part A and B are kind of the main building blocks to your coverage. Please be aware of how preventative services work, as it will impact how frequently you can have some things and what your copay is out of your own pocket. Okay. I also want to mention, if you have an Advantage plan, some Advantage plans or even some Medicare supplement plans will have a couple additional perks, whether it be vision, dental, hearing, or even the gym memberships. But Medicare Part B is the baseline of Medicare. Now, to that point, Medicare Part B does cover medically necessary vision, dental, and hearing services. Now, underneath dental and hearing, those services are somewhat minimal, okay? If it's like if I had a tooth that had to be pulled for a medically necessary reason, it was maybe infected, Medicare would cover that, but Medicare would not cover for a tooth to be put back in. Medicare, when it comes to those three services, covers vision the best. Medicare covers medically necessary vision, so things like cataracts, glaucoma, macular degeneration, things like that that they call to be medically necessary. Now, if you're a diabetic, you also have additional vision benefits. My point is this. Please be aware of what Medicare A and B do or do not cover and get the most out of your benefits. Most people don't even know that Medicare Part B does cover some chiropractic or even acupuncture treatment. It has to have certain qualifications, but Medicare can cover that. So again, be informed so you get the most out of your benefits. Now, there's another thing that I want to talk about in terms of one of the changes for 2025. And that is that Medicare has made changes to your telehealth services. And I think it's important to note this change in your Medicare benefits because people who are used to having telehealth services are getting fairly large bills because no one ever told them that as of 2025, Medicare does not cover most telehealth visits. So if you're a telehealth person, you might want to talk to your provider and you might be needing to go into the office for those visits. Mental health, things like that can be still telehealth, but basically everything else needs to be in person. So there are some changes. Medicare can have great benefits, whether it be, again, your day-to-day medical services, your vaccinations, other things. But there are telehealth cutbacks for 2025 when it comes to Medicare. So again, Medicare is great, but I want you to understand how the rules work, how the structure is set up, so you can get the most of those benefits. Again, I'm Emily with the Medicare Coach. Let me know what your questions are in the section below, and we look forward to helping you easily navigate your upcoming Medicare decision.